every time we also send one of the shippings out here, and we always send out about 10 to 12 containers at the same time. I always look at these boxes that go to remote places in Senegal, and you know they're going to stand there for the next 10, 12, 15, 20 years generating electricity. I must admit, every single time I feel quite emotional, very proud.
So I'm here in one of our villages, underneath the street light. There's light in this entire village. It's actually quite a big village. There's quite a lot of light here too. This is the first time that I've come to one of the villages that our systems are illuminating. I must admit, this is really quite special. Because we can see this from miles away, and like other times we're driving into the villages at night, you can't see them, they're just gone. And this one here is just standing out, and you drive through, and it's just really cool. Makes a huge difference. Feeling kind of proud right now. But of course, this installation here was done by Off-Grid Africa, you know. We designed it and they installed it. It's super cool. Very happy.
The ASER 300 project is a project by the Senegalese government to electrify the country by 2025. And GAUFF Engineering has taken on this project and is also the project manager for the whole project, and asked us to be one of the suppliers electrifying the villages.
Saturday morning, day 2, in building up the Senegal office, workshop and rolling circus. I had just eaten. Amazing, isn't it?
The later part of 2019, when we had submitted all the tender documents, we had, of course, a lot of backwards and forwards with GAUFF Engineering about all the details, about the technical details, about the logistical details, about a million different paperworks that had to be filled out. And exactly 1 week after we signed the contract, we had a global shutdown because of COVID-19. And that definitely brought quite a spanner into the whole project, because we were basically sitting there going, okay, what's going to come next? When is it going to happen? It was a bit intense, I must admit. But luckily, around mid-2020, we started manufacturing the first few containers. Then it took a little bit longer as well until we were able to ship it out, because for a project like this, there's so many moving parts also for the country itself, because it's a government project, and then you have the logistics and you have the tax exemptions, and all the different departments also within the Senegalese government all had to be on the same page, that it goes smoothly, for example, simply through the harbor, and making sure the villages are prepared. What are the priorities? Where does it go first? And yeah, so we crossed that bridge, and I think the project started proper flow-wise, where we in Off-Grid Europe were able to ship out around 12 containers every 5 to 6 weeks, started in the beginning of 2021. And ever since we have been doing this.
we're never gonna get stuck. These kind of trailers are not easy to come by. I think we look basically everywhere in Dakar because we already bought one trailer and two trackers, but the shipping was delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, actually because of Corona. So for example, two of the ships had left before our ship. The crew got Corona and they had to turn them around, bring them back to port again, and then our ship also had Corona and that also had to come back again. So it's just a complete mess. And so shipping was delayed by, I don't know, months basically. You know, we bought these back in December and we first started getting them in the middle of April. And we had to do customs clearance like really fast. Well, here we are in Brussels airport, and I'm down in one of the departure gates here, and it's completely empty. Look at this. This whole room to myself. Check it out. Yeah, just come back from Dakar now on an overnight flight and connecting into Frankfurt, and yeah, the first 2 weeks a bit of a disaster. Just went too early. Kind of knew that anyway. Sometimes you make the same mistake that you've done before and then you just make it one more time, and that's what happened. So we're gonna go back in a few weeks time, and then we're just gonna we're gonna carry on. But it's not that we didn't get some work down there. We made some good arrangements, some good deals. We did some recon. We went out to the sites. We did site visits, and yeah. So here we are in Senegal on inspection. So I'm back now to Catherine, and we're hammering around here off-road, trying to keep up with GAUFF and do an interview, a little vlog at the same time. Whoa. And I'm not even driving fast enough right now. It's actually getting away from me. So yeah, here we are driving between villages, and we're inspecting the sites to make sure that they are of the quality that they have to be according to our standards. So GAUFF are here, and we're actually here in one of the most important religious festive festivities of Senegal, called the Tabaski, on the main day where everybody should be partying and celebrating, but we're out here doing this. But everybody's been really, really kind, and they've been greeting us, and you know, they're super happy of the systems that we're building, and yeah, so that's just a site inspection and a bit of off-road driving. This village here was really quite a celebration. There was hundreds of people there, and they were offloading with a side loader. And when they put it down, everybody was cheering and clapping and laughing, and they were so happy. But what really stands out was one night we were just doing a service job. We were driving in the countryside, and it was dark for quite a while, probably for an hour. And all of a sudden you can see in way out into the distance, you can see that like a bright light, you know. You can see that light many kilometers away. And that's of course the village that we've electrified and put street lamps into. And then we drive out to the container, open up the distribution board and pull the plug, because we have to service it, so we have to turn it off. And you can hear the whole village going, no! Then we did our work and put it back on again, and then everybody cheered.
GAUFF Engineering found us at the Intersolar 2018, I believe it was. They came past our stand, spoke with us, and we were very happy to stay in touch.
And it's one of these requests on a piece of paper, stapled with a visit card. And you know, our sales manager spoke to Luke for a while about electrifying hundreds of villages, and actually I afterwards just wrote, too big, forget about it.
About 6 months later or so, they approached us with a real tender documentation and asked if we could participate, and yeah.
We really diverted all our resources. For half a year we created a really elaborate tender and we won it.
Then spend around 4 months, I believe, preparing all the documentation, having meetings backwards and forward, coming up with new ideas, thinking about how we can do the setup in Senegal to make sure that the system's getting installed, imagining how the logistics is going to work within the country, how we can make sure that our teams that are on the ground have food, have sleeping places, have all the tools, have all the machines to move containers around. And yeah, basically spend 3 years on the road, more or less, traveling through the entire Senegal and install systems at the individual villages. So that's quite an undertaking.
We didn't expect to win it at all. We were totally the underdogs. Then we executed the project the way that we described it, and the project's about to end now.
Been here for 2 months now, setting up the various parts of this operation. So that is management, staff, location, living quarters, machines, building the rolling circuits, building the rolling toolbox, customs import duties for all these things, testing and commissioning, preparing of the sites, getting all the machines out to the sites, police escort, and we're continuing to add on to this team. The idea is to start off with 1 or 2 sites and then quickly move into parallel work on 3-4 sites at the same time. So stop! Hey! What a day. I think it's 10 o'clock right now. Only 10 o'clock. We've already got a container in position right now. We got the sunny islands and tribe house hanging on the wall. We're getting ready now to the batteries in. They're going to be put in right now with the JCB. Got distribution box on the outside and they go. People already made all the A-frames. Moving up quite nicely. It's good fun, isn't it? We're going to buy 50 Coca-Colas right now, so we're going to pump people up with caffeine and sugar.
We should all strive to make the world a better place, right? We shouldn't be making it a worse place. If you want to make the world a better place, you have to do something that you can contribute. Like, I work in technology, so I understand technology and science. I think what I can do is bring energy. Interests me and something I can do. So that's what I do. I will do that and I will continue doing that. That's my contribution. This is a need that everybody has everywhere. If you're actively trying to solve a problem and you're open-minded, you can find many different entries to trying to solve the same kind of problem in a different place. Ours just happened to be West Africa. But now that we have more funds and bigger teams, we're going to expand further on in Africa. So we're going to carry on doing that. But it's not to say that we wouldn't want to expand to other parts of the world. But I think that the biggest need is in Africa also. There's a huge need there.
I'm standing here and we're just in our first installation, tidying it up. And you know, I think for the first time with this project here, I actually kind of felt proud and happy about it. It's very, very hard to be happy about stuff if you're constantly working on problems. But see 3 teams right now install all this kind of stuff from this little company that we started literally from nothing. And now we're standing here in Senegal doing 120 villages, impacting thousands and thousands and thousands of peoples. It's just amazing.
The reason we created Off-Grid Africa as a subsidiary was because that in order to work correctly in a country, you need to have local content and local connections. By being embedded in that local country, you gain a lot more respect and better understanding of the operational management. Long term, it's also a cost saving, and it gives you better credibility with your client. And it's just operationally more effective, you know, because if you have a problem, you're able to diagnose that problem and fix it.
So what you see behind me here is actually a grid infrastructure that's been installed. It's feeding off the system that we have right here. It's powering also street lights, which are being turned on and off by our system when the sun comes up and down. it follows the sunlight on a daily basis. So you don't have a standard timer thing, you just always have sunlight, street light when the sun goes down and street light turns off when it goes up. Here we are on yet another one of our sites. Cool.
The company, of course, has, I think, 35 employees here in Germany, and it's very focused on being international. We have people from all over the world. You know, in terms of profile, we look for specific kind of people. Maybe they're a little bit like us. People who are outgoing, who are open-minded, who are creative. We built that up over the last few years, and we're continuing to build it. So right now the focus is to build a strong base, a foundation for the company. People that are going to be able to manage bigger teams in the future and grow with the company and scale with it. The important thing is that we're moving forward.
When we were first sent the tender documentation and looked at it, given that we're now here, you see behind us, the last 11 containers that are getting shipped, I think we did a good job.
It's amazing to see after 3.5 years of building this system how much is developed. If you recall, the original design here had a whole bunch of distribution boxes and didn't have lithium batteries and so on. So the design has really changed and evolved over the year. But anyway, this is the last one, and it's going to be a bit sad to see it leave, but we're also very keen to move into the next level of production, where we're going to be producing tens of homes boxes every single month, plus the solar home system, plus the much cooler. So Off-Grid Europe has moved on quite nicely since we began. So yeah, see you later, container.